Imagine this. The year is 1978. Your country is in a war, and you must leave. Leave where you lived all your life. You bring nothing except for hope. Hope for better living. You travel across the world, struggling along the way, and you find yourself in the so-called land of the free. But guess what? You're denied resources. You've come all this way just to be stopped short. This isn't fantasy. This is reality for millions worldwide. Today, explore with us the history of the rights of refugees and how these people have gotten the rights that they deserve.
Today, the rights and protections that refugees now have are thanks to the 1951 Refugee Convention and the Refugee Act of 1980 in the United States. The Refugee Act made the U.S. policies that were instated to be similar with international law. This caused the entirety of America to become a more safe place for refugees to stay in for any time being. According to UNHCR USA, the U.S. has to protect refugees from being forced to return to dangerous situations in their own country, for example, Ukraine. This principle is known as non-refoulement. Host countries, which are countries housing the original refugees after they move, are also responsible for ensuring refugees have access to education, healthcare, and basic freedoms. However, there are still many different things that refugees have problems to concerning their travels.
So, what rights do refugees have? UNHCR and Amnesty International USA shows several protections that refugees have the right to have. Refugees have the right to seek asylum, the right to security, and in some countries the right to work, healthcare, and education. These rights give refugees multiple opportunities for life in a new area, as well as helping them adapt to new life in the new areas. However, people are much worse for refugees in reality. In many places, refugees are denied these rights due to resources and political reasons. Oxfam International reveals that essential needs like clean water, safe housing, good clothing, and even edible food are often inaccessible to refugees. These are basic rights, yet tons of refugees still don't get these same rights that everybody deserves.
Recently, the refugees face many more restrictions than they ever did. Origins and Oxfam report restrictive border policies, long detentions, and unnecessary deportations have grown and are becoming the trend nowadays. This will lead to the refugees stranded and forced to return to harsh, unsafe environments. Moreover, most of the refugees are discriminated against and taken advantage of in many fields, especially in labor markets, by working under poor conditions and receiving very low salaries. In countries where resources are scarce, public services cannot cope with the demand from incoming refugees. All this fuels tension between communities and reinforces stereotypes.
Refugees are a pivotal symbol of resilience and advocacy as they fight for their rights and a place in this world. Refugees always find ways to rebuild, whether it be in host communities or in camps. Refugees are hardworking people seeking better lives that they deserve. Through initiatives by UNHCR and other organizations, many refugees have started businesses, attended universities, and become advocates for their communities. Their contributions challenge the stereotypes surrounding refugees and prove that, given the opportunity, they can make a lasting impact on their host societies. Advocacy groups like Amnesty International work tirelessly to protect and expand refugee rights worldwide. Legal aid, mental health support, and job training are just a few ways these organizations help refugees create new beginnings.
The Refugee Act of 1980 was a pivotal moment in the history of the rights of refugees. The Refugee Act created a comprehensive way for refugees to seek asylum in the United States, but the crisis has evolved, and a response should follow suit. We face new challenges that range from climate change and political instability. These solutions need to go beyond the traditional solutions that are in place now. They need to go beyond camps and temporary aid and supplies. We need to integrate refugees into a part of our society as we know it today. Some suggested solutions may be building cities that can hold refugees to integrate mutual support.
Global cooperation is essential. Refugees deserve the same dignity, rights, and opportunities as anyone else. By supporting advocacy organizations, donating to relief efforts, or even just volunteering, we can all play a part in ensuring refugees do not find a place to survive, but a place to thrive. The most important factor in making sure that refugees receive their rights they deserve is cooperation between countries that ensure refugees are treated fairly. We can all play a part by making an effort to understand other countries and accept them for the way that they are. We can support refugees by donating to relief efforts and volunteering to ensure that refugees have a safe place to live and thrive.
(1921) League of Nations Refugee Office established. Among one of the earliest international efforts to protect refugees, it was primarily concerned with the Russian and Armenian refugees after World War I. 1933 Convention relating to international status of refugees. The first effort to define and codify formally the rights of refugees. It applied only to certain groups and countries. 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR. The UDHR declared the right to seek asylum for persecution, whereby Article 14 outlined an important basis for the rights of refugees.
1950. United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR. The UN General Assembly established the UNHCR for protection and problem solving in refugee matters, leading and coordinating international action. In 1951, Convention relating to the status of refugees, the 1951 Refugee Convention. The most important international document on the rights of refugees defines who is a refugee, their rights, and states legal obligations for their protection.
2004 European Union Qualification Directive. This harmonized asylum qualifications within European Union member states and provided clarity as to who constitutes as a refugee and what protection they should receive. 2016 New York Declaration for Refugees and Migrants. This commitment by the UN General Assembly was in the interest of protecting rights for both refugees and migrants with the intent of quickly and effectively meeting the demands of increased international cooperation and resettlement of refugees. And finally, in 2018, the Global Compact on Refugees adopted by the UN General Assembly took place, and it aims to ease pressure on host countries, enhance refugee self-reliance, and supports voluntary reparation, resettlement, and integration.
Refugees are people. They are no different to any other person. They deserve the same respect as everyone. That is partially the reason why the refugee seen in this video is a normal person.
Thank you for watching.